Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. So, yeah, it is Thanksgiving for all of those who are celebrating today. So, if you are, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I hope that you have a great day and enjoy all the fixings and food and fun and laughter that this day can bring. And of course, for those who are choosing to stay at home or just relaxing in peace and all of that. I'm thinking of you as well. And of course, definitely think of all of those and prayers and thoughts to go out to those who are in situations where they're not able to celebrate this time frame with loved ones and friends for whatever the circumstances may be. My heart and my thoughts and prayers go to you as well. When you think about all the many things that you can be thankful for, here's one that I will check off in the society checkbox, which is this lady here. Parole was denied. And this is actually an update to the story that I shared, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago or so now. It's on the platform if you would like to take a peruse of that. If you haven't already had a chance to do so, please do. And to leave me your thoughts on there. But here's the update. She was actually up for parole. So do you remember her? Yes, this is the infamous unaliving mother, Susan Smith, who actually unalived her two young boys by drowning them in a ravine or some type of river of some sort, and then blamed it on an innocent individual. So that's that in a rough shell, right? She actually was up for parole after I think it's been 30 years. It's hard to believe it's been that amount of time. And there was obviously a lot of chatter about this because this is a pretty big deal. It was a pretty big case at the time and remains to be one of the most saddest cases in regards to the nature of what she did. There was a lot of conversation I think being had where the father of the children, the two boys, was felt, and along with others felt that she was not redeemed enough to be able to leave the confines of her current home in prison. And I think a lot of us probably do agree with that. There may be some who feel differently, and that's definitely your choice, obviously, if you feel otherwise. And there's some who feel like she shouldn't really be taking up oxygen, period. So there's that as well. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and get into this sharing. But yeah, I'm thankful for that we have one less homicidal maniac on the streets. So let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? All right. So just 1 second. All right. According to The Independent, it says Susan Smith denied parole after serving 30 years for drowning her children. Now, a South Carolina mother who unalived her two young sons in 1994 by strapping them in car seats and rolling her vehicle into a lake has been denied parole after 30 years behind bars. Now, Susan Smith, now 53, appeared via video feed from prison on Wednesday and pleaded with a 7-member parole board for her freedom 3 decades after the deaths of Michael, 3, and Alex, 14 months. First, I want to say how very sorry I am, Smith said as she broke down crying. I know what I did was horrible, and I'd do anything to go back and change it. Smith went on to say that she has made a lot of dumb choices in prison, but has learned from her mistakes. She says, I am a Christian and God is a part of my life, and I know he has forgiven me, she said. I just ask that you show the same kind of mercy, and yeah, I guess that's it. But it was not enough to sway the board, and they denied her request for parole. A jury convicted Smith of unaliving in 1995, but decided not to sentence her to death. Under state law at the time, she is eligible for parole hearing every 2 years. Every 2 years. Wow, I did not know that. Now that she has spent 30 years behind bars. Now, so we'll be going through this again, I guess, in a couple of years. Smith's ex-husband and father of the children, David Smith, vowed to be at the parole hearings for his slain sons every 2 years going forward to ensure that their death doesn't go in vain. He says, I'm here to advocate on Michael and Alex's behalf as their father, he told the parole board. God gives us free choice. She made this choice. This wasn't a tragic mistake. She purposely meant to end their lives. As for the 30 years she has spent in prison, he said, ultimately to me, that's only 15 years per child, her own children. It's just not enough. Smith made international headlines in October of 1994 when she said she was carjacked late by a black man who then drove away with her sons inside. The claims by Smith, who is white, played into centuries-old racist tropes of black men being a danger to white women and stoked concerns about crime that were prevalent in 1990s America and remain so today, the Associated Press reported. For 9 days, Smith and her husband pleaded with the public for the safe return of their children, but the entire time the boys were in Smith's car at the bottom of a nearby John D. Long Lake. Trigger warning, obviously. Smith ultimately confessed to letting her car roll down a boat ramp and into the lake. A recreation by investigators showed it took 6 minutes for the Mazda to dip below the surface, while cameras inside the vehicle showed water pouring in through the vents and steadily rising. The boys' bodies were found dangling upside down in their car seats, one tiny hand pressed against a window. My God. Prosecutors have said Smith had unalived her sons because a man she was having an affair with at the time said that he did not want children. Smith and her husband were legally separated at the time of the unalivings, but David joined forces with Smith to find their sons. Everything changed when a judge granted their divorce in May of 1995, a couple of months before her trial had begun. I am not the monster society thinks I am, she later wrote in a letter to the state newspaper in 2015. I am far from it. Something went very wrong that night, she added. I was not myself. I was a good mother and I loved my boys. There was no motive as it was not even a planned event. I was not in my right mind. Now, Smith's attorneys claimed she was suffering a mental breakdown and intended to unalive alongside her children, but saved herself at the last moment, according to the New York Times. The trial had lasted less than a week, and after less than 2.5 hours of deliberation, the jury had found Smith guilty on 2 counts of first-degree unaliving. Now, Smith's time behind bars over the past 30 years has been marred with controversy, from having sex with prison guards to violating policies and chatting up a number of obsessed suitors on the outside. She was having a good old time, wasn't she? She was hit with 2 infractions for having sex with prison guards in 2000, and then was disciplined at least 5 times between 2010 and 2017 for issues including self-harming and drug use. People have reported. And of course, she had eventually confessed to unaliving their children. So there you have it. It looks like she will have more time, that being Susan Smith, to reflect on what she has done 30 years ago. And, I wonder, and I think back on the concept of when I see the tears, I wonder, is it tears for really that you are so sorry for the situation, or is it tears because you're upset that you're not getting out? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, yes, there's always a place for forgiveness when forgiveness is made available for you. But at the end of the day, this was such a horrible situation. So may she continue to move forward in her quest with her connection and relationship with God. And I guess we will see how things turn out 2 years from now, because I have no doubt that each and every opportunity that she has, she will do what she needs to do to make sure she can present herself to the parole board. Now, at this point, I wonder if this particular case had happened in this time, what the outcome would be. There seems to be quite a few things that can be tapped into the situation. Postpartum depression is something that is heavily spoken about and has been for some years now. Is that something that actually relates to her situation, or is what the prosecutors shared at the time was that she was having an affair and the man did not want the children, so therefore she did what she did? I mean, I guess we 100% won't know for sure. The case is a pretty old one, so you'd have to really go back into diving in to see, some of the information and what else could have been provided. cited and presented in court to come to that assertion, because I really don't remember or recall, and I don't really necessarily think I'm going to go back and scuff for it. But if you do and you want to share any of thoughts about that, feel free to do so in the comment section below. Definitely leave your thoughtful, respectful comments there, and we can have a conversation about it. But apparently the parole board was not moved of her situation and feels that more time is indeed needed. And I guess we will see. And I guess her sentence was 30 years to life, I'm assuming. And so every 2 years, because of the way the law was at the time, she can go up for parole. So again, like I said, I think she's going to continue to go up for that parole board, as until she hears something different. So, and I guess as time goes on, we will see. But in the meantime, where she is where she will stay. So that being said, I think that'll about do it for this video. I definitely would love to know your thoughts below, so feel free to comment those in the comment section for me, and let's have a conversation about it. It's very much a disturbing case. It always has been, and it will continue to will be perplexing for how people can do these types of things and commit these types of crimes. There's many cases over the years that are a similar, different maybe actions, but similar things that have taken place, and different rules for different reasons, and different things have come about and for those situations. So I don't think this was definitely not the first, but it was highly publicized as one of the main ones so long ago. So yeah, but with that, definitely leave those thoughts below. And if you are new here and you haven't had a chance to subscribe, of course, make sure that you hit the subscribe button here so you can go ahead and be part of the family, part of the community. I would so love to have you. I thank you so much for your viewing and listening support. It means so much to me. It most definitely does. And of course, don't forget that I do have an upcoming Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale that will be 50% site wide, 50% off. I gotta say that all in one word, right? And all that information is down in the description box as well. So make sure that you get yourself some uplifting joy. There is so much to choose from. The sale starts on tomorrow, so that will be 11/29, 12:01 a.m. So go ahead and grab that code from down below, click on that link, and get yourself definitely some uplifting joy. And again, the shop is one that just embodies all things, and the reason for its existence is to share all things in positive speak and empowering dialogue for ourselves. It is so important to keep ourselves grounded and centered and full of positive dialogue for ourselves to move forward in our best way and show up in the best way. So I have so many items out there for you to choose from, peruse from, take a look at, and I hope you enjoy your visit at Motivation Suite Elements. Also too, I have a couple of items that I added new to the shop. Did a couple of days ago. So if they don't pop up in their own separate categories, there are the pendant, bracelet, and pendant necklace, as well as my wine tumblers, which have been there for the whole duration actually. They're 11-ounce wine tumblers, and they are keep things cold, keep things warm, whatever it needs to be for hours. So love them, love them, love them. So if for some reason you're not able to find those particular items in the regular search areas in their categories under drinkware and accessories, just feel free to hit that the magnifying search area on the site. Just type in pendant, they'll pop up. Wine tumblers, they'll pop up. There's so much to choose from. So definitely take a look. And I hope you enjoy again that visit. And thank you so much for your support. And yeah, so I think with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. I will have another video dropping later on, so make sure you have your own notification bells on all, so that way you do not miss it. And yeah, with that, I will bid you adieu. Thank you so much again. Happy Thanksgiving. And yes, I hope again that you enjoy your time. Blessings to you all, and definitely check on your strong ones, check on your loved ones, check on your friends. And with that, I will bid you adieu. And until next time, you take care and be blessed. Bye.